gals again for our what's becoming our weekly Share the Love segment with all of you. And today I am in a pasture with a cow. This is Rosie. If you saw Lissy read the story about Good Morning Friends last week, Rosie was the one that was trying to nibble on the book. And we have goats. This is little Tiffany over here at the fence. And then behind me, there is sheep. And this is Miss Poppy right back here. And those of you who have followed her since she was born, you can see what a big girl she is now. Now, as different as all of these animals look, they have something in common. And that is they're all what is known as a species of animal that is called a ruminant. They have a portion in their stomach that's called a rumen. It's spelled R-U-M-E-N, and not like rumen, like R-O-O-M. And kids, you can check this out and you can look it up. They have a very interesting way of digesting their food. When we eat the food, goes straight into your stomach, which is one compartment. Their tummies are actually separated into 4 compartments. The first part that the food hits is the rumen. And there the food is partially digested. Now for this part, I know if I were teaching in front of a classroom full of kids, as soon as I tell you this, I know exactly what you would do. You'd all go, oh, like that. Because after it goes into the rumen and it gets kind of digested, they burp it back up into their mouth. They chew it a second time, and then it goes through the regular digestive process in their tummies. And one of the reasons that they do this is in the wild, goats and sheep, deer, which are ruminants also, a lot of these animals are what we call prey animals. Now this doesn't mean they're preying all the time. It's P-R-E-Y, not P-R-A-Y. And it means they are prey for other animals like wolves and mountain lions and coyotes and even man, things like that. So they're always on the lookout for danger. So they might have to eat very quickly. They can't take their time. Well, what happens to you when you eat really, really fast? You get a bellyache. Well, they don't get belly aches because it goes into their rumen, digests a little bit, and then they get a second chance to chew it up and swallow it, and everything is fine. And if you had a belly this big, you don't want to be getting belly aches in there. That would really hurt, wouldn't it? So this is Rosie. She is a Holstein cow, which is the kind of cows they use for milk. She would be what's called a dairy cow. And she's going to be up for adoption one of these days, and we hope she gets a lovely home. And she's just out here right now having a good time grazing with all of her buddies. So over here, we have little Tiffany. Should we try it, Lissy, and see if she does her trick?
Sure.
It's wet on the ground, but for you guys, I will do anything. Here, Tiff. If she doesn't, I'm going to look really stupid, but that won't be the first time. Here, baby. Tiff. You want to come up? Come on. She might be too busy eating. Goats love to climb on things. You want to come up? Nope, she's not going to do it. I'm just getting wet and muddy, so we won't go down there. If she was in the barn, the first thing she would do is hop on your back, because goats are very good climbers. And Tiffany's so tiny, I kind of think she likes to climb on things because it makes her kind of level with all the other guys, because they're much, much bigger than she is. Now our sheep are looking pretty woolly, and along about the beginning of May is when they will get sheared. And they will get sheared once in the spring, and then usually they will be good for the rest of the year. They start to grow their wool out, and then by the time winter comes along, they're nice, cozy, and warm. Another cool thing about ruminants, they do not have front teeth. These are called your incisors. There's 4 teeth across the top, and they have a dental plate there, or hard gum ridge. They do have some teeth in the back, but they don't have any right here. So if they were to smile at you, they'd look a little strange because they only have teeth on the bottom when you look at them. They're just the coolest animal. These guys are all so beautiful, so friendly, so sweet, and we just love them to pieces. So today, for our story time, we're going to read you a story called The Little Goat. Okay, you guys ready to get started? I think let's just do it right here in the midst of all the animals, okay? All right, Lissy is my camera woman today. Thank you, Lissy. And if you tune in next Monday, Lissy is going to be with Callie, and they're going to talk to you all about horses. They're going to introduce horses to you, and it's going to be just a really, really fun day up in the horse barn. So we want you to get ready for that next Monday at 3. Okay, guys, here we go. The little goat. Behind me, a little goat. One sunny summer afternoon, Andy went over to Grandfather's farm. He often stood on the fence to watch the goats grazing in the fields. They seemed to have more fun than the other animals. But one very special day, Andy did not stop to watch the goats. It was his birthday, and Grandfather had promised him a goat of his own. And these are actual photographs of a real little boy. I would think that'd be a pretty cool birthday gift. Andy went to the barnyard wondering where his goat could be. He saw a mother goat nursing her newborn kids. 2 frisky goats were butting each other playfully, and there were 3 busybody goats poking their noses into the barn. You see the babies. Last week we had the babies. And goats are curious. We have 3 sheep here who are very curious, but they're a little shy yet. Andy had names for some of the goats. There was Pops, the billy goat, who made silly faces, and Grumpy, the grandfather goat. Though Grumpy's shaggy beard made him a little grouchy, he was really very gentle. Suddenly, Andy heard a loud "Maa!" coming from the barn. Peeking around a door was a small brown goat wearing a bright red ribbon. You think maybe this is his birthday gift? All wrapped up with a red ribbon? Happy birthday, Andy, said Grandfather as he came out of the barn with the goat. Andy hugged the little goat. I think I'll call him Sam, he said. But Sam was too busy nibbling Grandfather's hat to hear his new name. Sam had a tremendous appetite. He always knelt down when Andy gave him his bottle, and he wagged his tail back and forth like a happy puppy. Little kids, meaning goat babies, often get down on their knees when they drink their mother's rich, warm milk. Look at that little baby. And when Poppy was a little baby, that big sheep over there we looked at before, where is she now? Way down there. She's the farthest one out there. You just see her shaggy butt over there. When she was a tiny baby, from the time she was like a week old, we gave her a bottle. Andy and Grandfather built Sam a special yard with an extra tall fence. Inside the barn, they filled his stall with clean straw. In a few weeks, the little goat needed more than milk from a bottle. Andy brought sweet grain to his stall, and Sam munched on the hay in his hay rack. So boy, did they make a nice home just for him. It looks just like the home we have for our goats inside the goat barn. As Sam grew older, he grew more playful. Goats like to climb on things. Tiffany loves to climb on things. Today she didn't want to, but they really do, I promise you. Goats like to climb and jump on things, and Sam's favorite toy was an orange wheelbarrow. When Andy wasn't around to play, Sam would jump in and out of the wheelbarrow for hours. One day, Sam scrambled up on the wall beside the barn. But climbing up is sometimes easier than getting down. Once he reached the top, Sam didn't know what to do. Ma, 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 he cried until Andy came running and got him down. Did you ever kitty get up in a tree? Ever have a cat get up in a tree and then they get scared and are afraid to come down? Or maybe you climbed up a tree once, and then when you looked down, you were like, oh wow, I'm awful high. So that's what happened to poor little Sam, but his buddy was there to help him out. Sometimes Andy spied on Sam through a secret hole in the barn. But one day Sam discovered the hole. Like most goats, he was curious. First he pushed his nose in, then he pushed his head through. But when he tried to pull his head back out, he couldn't do it. Now Sam was stuck. And guess what he said? Ma! He cried. Look at him. We've had goats do this too. Sometimes they'll stick their head through a fence, and when they try and pull it back out, what happens? Their horns get stuck, but most of them figure out all they have to do is turn sideways and they can get free. He was just too little to figure it out. Once again, Andy came to rescue him. Andy helped Sam get out of the hole. Then he found his hammer and nails and a shingle to patch it up. Sam nibbled at the shingle. He nibbled one of the nails. He tried to help, but he only got in Andy's way. Finally, Andy covered the hole so Sam could not get stuck again. Way to go, Andy, keeping your little goats safe like that. Throughout the summer, Sam and Andy played together. Wherever Andy went, the little goat trotted along, his tail wagging back and forth. Andy and Sam were best friends. Soon the weather began to turn cool and autumn came. Each morning, Andy brought Sam's breakfast in a bucket. And one morning, Sam found out what fun a bucket could be. Look at that. And we've seen this. We had a horse here years ago. His name was Austin. He's been adopted. Austin used to love to get a bucket on his head, and he would run around his pasture. And we'd all laugh at him, and he knew he was making us laugh. And the more we laughed, the more he did it. While Andy was in school, he often thought about Sam. He wondered what Sam was doing. Sometimes Sam played in the wheelbarrow, or he climbed the fence to munch on maple leaves. But most of the time, Sam waited for Andy. When Andy came home in the afternoons, they took long walks in the meadow. I bet they both really missed each other a lot, just like your dogs do and cats when you go back to school. They're all pretty happy to have you home right now, I bet. One Saturday, Andy decided to hitch Sam to his wagon. Goats are strong and can be trained to pull small carts. Andy fastened a harness around Sam, then he hitched it to the wagon, and suddenly Sam saw a bush that looked good to eat. Up the stairs he went. Bang went the wagon, crashing behind him. Now, little tiny goats like Tiffany wouldn't be able to do that. We just adopted out two big white goats, Neptune and Pluto, and they were big. They were almost as big as ponies. They wouldn't have had any trouble pulling a cart. Whether they would have done it or not, I don't know, but they could have. After a few days of practice, Sam was ready to pull the wagon. Andy held onto the reins, and they trotted across the field together. Look at that, he did it. How fun would that be? On the last warm weekend of the fall, Andy planned to go camping with Sam. He put a pack on Sam's back. He filled his own pack with fruit and granola bars in case they got hungry during the night. The only trouble was Sam ate most of the granola bars before they reached the campsite. Goats will eat just about anything, or at least try it. It was almost dark when Andy finished setting up the tent. At first he felt a little frightened, but when he turned on the lantern, Sam snuggled up to him, and Andy gave his little goat a big hug. "Good night, Sam," he said. "I'm glad we're best friends." The end. So pretty cool to have a goat for a best friend, and someday when we can open up the sanctuary and you can get out here and come visit the animals, maybe you'll find a goat that, even though you can't take him home, you can say he's your best friend, and that would be pretty cool. So join us next week when Lissy and Callie are going to tell you all about horses. Lissy's going to read another cool story. Share the love. Stay safe. We love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Bye. Have a great day.